Hello everybody, it's been a couple of weeks, so you know what that means. We're back, LOB Cast Wrestling, all your wrestling goodness for over the past couple of weeks. We're going to get into quite a bit of stuff this week. So, as always, it's me, your voice of reason, Dave Stevens, and of course I'm joined by the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying tag team partner of mine, Lee Hazel.
I feel like that is very unearned, especially at this time. Hello, everybody.
That's my little tribute.
Do we want to start off with that? Do we want to start off sad and end happy?
Well, I think I want to start off with some beer.
We start as we mean to go on.
Because today we're going to be drinking beer, but just not just any beer.
Not just any beer. Oh,
this
no.
is M&S beer.
This was my choice this week, ladies and gentlemen.
So this is, it just says Belgian lager.
It literally says, I walked into Marks and Spencer's on the way home from work a couple of days ago, and I said to myself, okay, right, they're going to have some nice options. They're going to have some nice random stuff for me to go into. I was really looking for a Sainsbury's, but I didn't think that there was one in the area. So I went into the Marks and Spencer's. The shelves were completely empty. This 4-pack of Belgian lager, home brand M&S Belgian lager, was the only thing they had. And as soon as I buy it, I walk out, I go 10 steps, there's a Sainsbury's right there. It had loads of options in it, loads of great beer.
It's supposed to be weird beer, so let's crack this open and deafen everyone. There we go. And before I drink it, I'm going to say to Sabu.
To Sabu.
To Sabu.
You can't see it, but I'm doing the point.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Considering we tried to make this interesting random lagers, this is probably the most normal thing I think I could have possibly...
it's just a cheap lager, isn't it?
It's basically just a cheap lager.
It's not too
And what
bad.
makes it worse is the fact that it's from M&S, so it's not cheap lager.
That's true.
It's expensive cheap lager.
Is this better than the Cornwall one we had last time?
I quite like the Cornwall one. Cornwall one was refreshing.
Yeah.
I tell you what, as somebody who was...
You know what, this one, I can taste the tin.
Yeah.
I think that's what that aftertaste is. It's the can.
It's the can, yeah. Because I will say, I have been to Bruges, and I am a bit of a Belgian beer person. And this is just... I mean, this may as well be Stella Artois.
Yeah, it's like Carlin.
Mm.
Yeah.
On the spectrum that goes, Leffe, Zott, Stella, this is definitely on the Stella end.
I bet he drinks M&S Green Label.
The can is green, for those of you wondering why he said that.
Yeah, as a throwback to the Carlin adverts. Do you remember? You're probably too young to remember.
Oh, no, I remember Carlin Black Label, yeah. Although, was it them who, they changed from Bet You He Drinks Carlin Black Label to probably the best lager in the world?
Probably the best lager, and that Carlsberg.
Oh, was that Carlsberg? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Carlsberg,
Carling.
What was the one I sent you on Instagram? There was an advert, a beer advert with Sean Bean in it.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
I'd never heard of that beer before. I don't think it exists.
It's well old. It was 80s, wasn't it? But it was funny.
I tell you what, it was non-alcoholic beer as well.
Oh, was it?
Did you?
Because
he's flying a plane.
Yeah, okay.
And the tagline is, "Good job, I was drinking this."
Yeah.
Because you're thinking to yourself, oh God, I know they did things differently in the 1980s, but Sean Bean flying a plane after having a pint, that is a bit much even for those days.
Well, I'm just surprised Sean Bean survived something.
Oh, yeah. He didn't die at the end of the advert.
Yeah.
Oh
dear. Should we talk about...
Speaking of people who died at the end of things... No,
that's not how we're going to segue into Sabu.
No, that's not how we're going to segue into Sabu. How about...
No, should we save Sabu for a bit later?
Yeah,
we want to end on a cheery note with some Sabu stuff, because
we like to be
Sabu.
fair, we would probably talk about...
Considering my Wrestle Club recommendation is a Sabu match this week.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about doing that. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much good free stuff with Sabu.
I found one on WWE Vault. So
okay.
To be honest, there is plenty of free stuff. It's just legitimate channels. That,
we don't want to sink our reputation.
This one is on WWE Vault. So Well, let's get into, because we've had Backlash, which I suppose we better do our review, and then we've got quite a lot of wrestling coming up this week.
This wrestling weekend is absolutely packed.
It's packed. And
for reasons completely unknown. I mean, I suppose...
Well, it's called counter-programming, Lee, for the start. That's probably most of it. Well, let's start with Backlash, because there was 5 matches on the card.
Mm-hmm.
What were they? You'll have to bring up the list, because it was like, my memory is shot. I've had a week, to be honest, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, it's been... we are 10 days removed from this event, so...
yeah.
I bet you... So I just brought up Saturday night's main event. If I had just left that up there, I bet you would have looked at that and genuinely thought that was the card.
Possibly. Well, yeah. Well, so we had 5 matches. So I'll just run through them quickly, and then we'll just talk about what ones we want to talk about, what we can remember, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we had a 4-way for the US title, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. We had a women's Intercontinental match, Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch. We had Dominic Mysterio versus Penta for the men's Intercontinental Championship. We had Gunther and Pat McAfee in an interesting match I'll get into. And then we had, excuse me, that's the beer, John Cena once again fighting Randy Orton. So
for what is this now, the 700th time?
Or something like that. I don't know. I mean, they were wrestling each other when I stopped watching wrestling. That's how long it's been going on.
Good Lord. I mean, I think I remember, they've been showing, in preparation for that match, they showed the first time they ever got into the ring together on camera in an OVW ring. I
mean, to be honest, well, I'm going to just talk about the show as a whole quickly, because this was probably the most predictable card. Mm-hmm. Well, one match was, I mean, I predicted 4 out of 5. One was a surprise win for me.
Oh, which one was that?
Well, I was expecting. So Lyra Valkyria defended her title against Becky, and I thought Becky was going to win for sure.
Personally, match of the night for me. This was a much more technical wrestling match.
Wrestling wise, wrestling wise, match of the night. I think possibly not entertainment value wise for me.
Which one would you go on with that?
Well, I actually quite enjoyed the last 2 matches.
Did you now?
I did. Surprisingly. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
I think I need my head checked, but I did enjoy But I mean, let's start with because I mean, the 4-way match, I don't really remember much. I remember it being alright.
Oh, I thought that, for me, this... Right, so one thing I was actually going to say to you, because it sounded like you enjoyed this pay-per-view more as it went along.
Yeah.
And for me, I enjoyed the first 2 matches quite a bit, and it really dipped off from there. Yeah.
Well, I think it was because, to be honest, until we got to more towards the end, but it just felt like a souped-up television show, which I think the PLEs kind of feel like that now. Yeah. They don't feel like old-school pay-per-view. They don't feel like big pay-per-view shows.
They do not feel special in the
slightest. No, not like an AEW pay-per-view.
Because, I mean, think about it. This was 15 minutes shorter than both of WWE's flagship TV programs.
Well, I get through this quicker than I do Raw.
Yeah, it was something like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't know if Raw's gone. I can't remember from the back of it.
Well, I don't know because obviously I watch Raw the next day, so I assumed it's shorter because they've taken all the ads and stuff out by that point, ain't they?
Yeah. So when I watch I know that SmackDown on its original broadcast is definitely 3 hours.
It is at the moment. Yeah.
When I hear people talking about it, they always talk about how oh God, how can this show be 3 hours long? Raw, I don't know whether they've just brought that back down to 2.5 because obviously it's on Netflix. They don't need.
I think it's about 3 hours, but I think by the time we watch it, they've taken the ad breaks out and it's condensed.
Do they have ad breaks when
it's live?
It's live on Netflix. Yeah. Oh wow. I've not
well,
seen
I
the
wouldn't.
live
well, we wouldn't because obviously I pay for Netflix and I don't have ads, so it'll just go to a blank screen that says Raw. You know, like how the AEW
right
does.
On Triller, yeah.
Yeah, so it would just do that. But I think when you watch a later version, they snip that out.
Yeah. Okay. So tell you what. Let's start from the top. Let's go to the bottom.
Okay then. Well, we'll go with a 4-way match. You enjoyed it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I just think that any time when Jacob Fatu looks like an absolute beast. One thing I was going to say is that I kept thinking as the lead up to this match was happening was that I actually just wanted it to be Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre and have that be that. But then I sort of realised that, but Jacob Fatu isn't going to dominate Drew McIntyre in the same way that he's able to dominate people like LA Knight and Damian Priest. So actually, for once, the 4-way match is actually probably going to be more entertaining than the 1-on-1. because Jacob Fatu has all of this opportunity to look like the beast he absolutely is.
Well, the thing is with this one, I was expecting this to be match of the night easily, and it wasn't for me.
It didn't hit that violent spectacle that a wrestler like Jacob Fatu, like everything about his personality, his presentation, makes you think that this guy is just going to be destroying people.
Yeah,
and they kind of pull a bit back from that simply because of the fact that
it was a bit tame, wasn't it? Yeah,
WWE can't really deliver the kind of violence that somebody Jacob Fatu promises just with his mere existence alone.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting this to be match of the night, but then the following match outdone it on wrestling.
Oh yeah,
and then I thought like the later matches were better for the entertainment value.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
So it kind of like, I mean, while it weren't a bad match, it just kind of fell a bit flat for me. But then we had the women's match, Becky and Lyra. And I really, like we just said, I really enjoyed this one. Yeah. I think this was the best wrestling match on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you know me, I like my in-ring. I am an in-ring guy. I like it when WWE, when a wrestling product makes me feel like I am watching a sport where two people are doing their best to try and win. And I think out of all of the matches on the card, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch absolutely delivered on that one for me in spades.
Yeah, well, as I said, because I mean, I thought Becky was a dead short cert to win this, and she didn't.
Absolutely,
and but it was like with the false finishes and the things like that. I thought it was really good. It kept me. Yeah, it really drew me in this match.
Nice bit of chain wrestling at the opening of this match, which I haven't been that au fait with the work of Lyra Valkyria, but I wasn't sure. I was quite surprised at how well she was doing in that sort of thing. I know that Becky Lynch absolutely knows her way around a wrist lock.
Yeah, maybe she's one that needs to be wrestling some high caliber people.
Oh, yeah. But then again, this actually gives me confidence. Like, this match, before this match, Women's Intercontinental Championship, WWE didn't seem that interested in it. Now, I could think of quite a few people that I would put the Intercontinental Championship on before coming to Lyra Valkyria.
Well, yeah, because I'd only have one world title for a start, so that makes it easier to pick an Intercontinental champion.
Yeah. I mean, and also I've always got the sneaking suspicion that Lyra Valkyria is something of a product of Becky Lynch's, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that, she's Irish. So it always felt to me
because I saw her wrestle a couple of times on the NXT UK show when that was still a thing. Because I did watch a few episodes of that in recent years. But yeah, no, it was good. This was match of the night. Then we had Miss Dominic Mysterio versus Penta.
You're going to have to fill me in on this.
I don't even remember this. I do not remember. There was shenanigans.
Yeah.
I think
Dominic Mysterio match. Of course, it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it was another one where Penta was taken out by El Grande Americano and the headbutt business. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, it was less. It was under 10 minutes, and I don't remember. I don't remember anything. It wasn't anything
this
to write home.
This is the particular problem that I currently have with WWE's product, and we'll get to this especially in the next match. Is that there are people in WWE who I like, who I absolutely love. But the things that they've got them doing are not the things that I want to see them doing. I don't want to see Penta fight Dominic Mysterio. No. I'm just not interested in that. Like, Penta versus El Grande Americana was quite good, but I just couldn't help thinking how much better it would be if we just got rid of the pretenses and just had
Phoenix versus... Didn't Phoenix fight?
Haven't they both done it?
They might. That's the thing. They might have done. It's some of this is so There's so much. I'm watching so much wrestling that some of it has to really stand out for me to care.
Yeah,
and this just doesn't stand out.
And especially the push that WWE are trying to make into Mexico right now. The fact that all of their luchadors and their Latin American stars just kind of seem to be interchangeable with one another.
They don't care about Mexico.
Do you not think they can? Do you not think that
whole... No, it's just to screw over CMLL and AEW. That's all that... Come on.
I mean, they're doing a fine job of that. AEW just sold out Arena Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, Penta versus Dominic Mysterio, not what I really want to see him
Yeah,
doing.
it was poo.
Yeah. Speaking of things that I really would prefer it if the person involved in this match was involved in something else. Frankly, anything else.
Oh, you just... Yeah, I mean, this is a bit silly for Gunther. But we had Gunther versus Pat McAfee. But to be honest, for me, this was my surprise of the night. This was... I really... Because I thought, how are they going to do this match? Is, like... Because as I think we alluded to last time when we were speaking of previewing this match, it was either going to be a squash match or it was going to make Gunther look silly and be a competitive match. And it was neither. They managed to
combine the two.
They kind of pulled it off because they didn't make Gunther look stupid, but they didn't. They squashed Pat McAfee. Well, they did kind of squash, but they strung it out and made it. They told a really good story in this match.
So the thing that I the thing that I was glad by is the fact that this match was so long. It went 14 minutes, pretty much on the dot.
Yeah.
And the reason why isn't because Pat McAfee was bringing it to Gunther.
No, it was Gunther's toying with him.
Yeah, Gunther kept toying with him.
I think they've done this really well.
The problem that I had with it is simply the fact that, for me, the stakes of this match are just non-existent.
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't care that Gunther beat up Michael Cole.
No,
I just don't give a shit.
No, I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, I went into this, I didn't care. Weren't interested. This is below Gunther. Yeah. But the match, the 14 minutes that they put on surprised me.
Did you not think?
So I mean, as a match, it's in itself. I'm gonna give it its due because I've really enjoyed the match.
I mean, right? So yeah, a lot of people have been telling me, it's a great story. They've been telling a great story, and that. The problem is that I just have found real trouble being invested in that story because of the fact that I don't care about the characters.
Yeah.
I don't care about Pat McAfee. Don't care about Michael Cole.
Yeah.
And also, in a match like this, when Pat McAfee is defending Michael Cole's honour and Michael Cole is on commentary, Michael Cole becomes like the starring role of this, and it just gave me flashbacks back to the time when I personally gave up WWE for a long time. Heel Michael Cole. I missed so much stuff. I missed almost the entirety of CM Punk's biggest run in WWE because I hated heel Michael Cole so much.
That's fair enough. But I mean, as a match, considering like we both weren't interested in this, I thought this was going to be a turd. And then what they managed to do, they managed to draw me in. I enjoyed myself watching this, so I've got to give it credit where credit's due. I enjoyed the match. I'm not gonna give it. It's not like a 5-star masterpiece by any means. But it was, considering I can't even remember the match before this, and that's one of the best luchadors in the world in Penta and Rey Mysterio's son. You would have thought would have been.
I mean, Rey Mysterio's nepo, baby. Let's face it.
But
the argument I keep making is that Dominic Mysterio would not be anywhere near a WWE ring.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you on paper, what match would you have thought would have been a better match?
Yeah, I suppose still, even then, probably Penta versus.
Because I'm not being funny. You don't like Dominic Mysterio, but he can wrestle.
He can wrestle.
He's got the pedigree there. He just looks like a bum.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really enjoyed this. And then we got to the main event, John Cena and Randy Orton.
Right, so you liked it.
I really enjoyed this. This was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be, especially after that WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, that is actually going to be what was going to be a point that I brought up. It feels like people enjoyed this match a lot more than they might have done had John Cena's previous match actually been the remotest bit entertaining.
Yeah. I enjoyed this match. This did give me some nostalgia feels. I mean, they wrestled a match that I expected them to wrestle. It wasn't the greatest match, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that it's Randy Orton and John Cena's like I got into it. It's their last match.
So I watched this match having my nostalgia for John Cena and Randy Orton is. I don't really have much nostalgia for John Cena and Randy Orton.
I didn't before the match.
Yeah.
I didn't before
the
match,
video package did quite well in sort of like bringing that
up.
But
the match kind of made me think, that was quite good.
Because, you know, like their prime years fighting in WWE, I pretty much spent watching TNA and ROH. But, so the thing is with this match is that people told me that it started incredibly slow.
It did.
And it was really boring. And then shenanigans start happening, and that makes it really entertaining. So in my head, I am building up what these shenanigans are going to be. We've got Money in the Bank coming up soon. Did CM Punk make an appearance? Maybe it would have been Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins. Maybe this is when Cody Rhodes come back. And it was Nick Aldis and R-Truth.
Yeah, your childhood hero, R-Truth.
And I was like, oh, this is the thing that everybody was.
Yeah, but everyone loves R-Truth. Come on, don't you love R-Truth? I love R-Truth.
Sort of, like, you know, I find them amusing.
So John Cena is going to be facing R-Truth at Saturday night's main event. I'm looking forward to that. I love R-Truth.
And yeah,
you know what? Actually, the thing is as well. I think it was like was it just before this or just after? I think it might have just been before this. I watched R-Truth on Chris Van Vliet as well, so I was already like down with I was already in the mood for R-Truth anyway. So I like R-Truth.
Yeah.
R-Truth's funny.
R-Truth is one of those guys who, when he's on my screen, I really enjoy myself. I really like him to a certain extent. But this is John Cena's final run in WWE. Do you know what I actually think happened here?
What?
I think that this particular little run that he's doing with R-Truth was probably reserved for the person who I actually personally believe is John Cena's greatest rival, but whom, unfortunately, towards the beginning of the year, got very badly injured and probably will not see out the year to have one final fight with John Cena, and that is Kevin Owens. So that is the kind of thing that I was thinking as I was watching this. It's just like, okay, so we're now going to have a program with.
Well, it's not a program. It's just going to be one match.
It's going to be one match.
It's one match.
But it's like
it's
the final.
You got the man who's won the most world titles versus the man who's won the most titles. Full stop.
We are,
because R-Truth is like he's like won like 40 championships.
The fact that we are bringing the 24/7 championship into the last run of John Cena's career shows me that we might just be scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Come on. Well, if it was a hardcore champ, the old school hardcore championship, you can it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, considering how many did Raven win? Something, you know.
Didn't they just in one night they just kept pinning each other over and over and over again?
Do you remember? Was it WrestleMania 2000? You had that one match that was like half an hour, and it was just constant pinfalls back and forward until the time went out, and even then they botched the ending.
Oh yeah. Was that the scramble match?
Yeah, because Crash was meant to retain it, but he didn't kick out at the last second, so Bob Holly won.
I actually thought was a really, really, really good little gimmick.
Yeah.
And they never did it again after that.
Yeah, they never done the match again. They could have done that with the 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mind you, the 24/7 was 24/7 all the time, so. But yeah, so overall, I actually enjoyed this show. It was more like just a hyped up TV episode.
Yeah,
which is what PLEs are now, I guess.
When you have a show that comes in 15 minutes shorter than your regularly scheduled TV programs, it really hits my ability to be able to think of it as a special event.
Mind you, it goes to show how much shit is on the TV programs when there's 5 matches on this.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how much faff is on the rubbish is on the TV show.
Yeah, I mean, one whole month of 3-hour TV shows, and the best you've got to show for it is 5 matches. Yeah. And 2.5 hours.
Well, that's what I mean. And some of the best matches this month were on TV. Like, we had a TLC and everything. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And people, do you know what? People really piss me off when they say that, if it was on WrestleMania, it just would have gotten lost in the shuffle. No, it would have
been match of the show if it went on night 1.
What, on that WrestleMania? It's going to get lost in the shuffle. Yeah, no, it's going to shine brighter than pretty much everything on there, including the main events. Yeah. Like, oh my god,
it would have been in the top 3 matches easily of that whole 2-night main event.
And also, now they might not do it like this anymore.
And in my opinion, it's not even one of the best TLC matches I've ever seen. So
no, exactly.
It was a pretty average TLC match, to be fair, but it was better than half that shit.
Yeah. And also, if you're gonna tell me that you support wrestlers, and you also say that these guys didn't need to be on WrestleMania, go fuck yourself. Wrestlers get more money for being on WrestleMania. What happened there was they took the match with the most people in it and decided to boost how much money they earn at WrestleMania by not having to pay 6 of their competitors.
Yeah.
And
that should have been on the card instead of New Day tag match.
Absolutely. Talking about getting lost in the shuffle, that New Day match got lost in the shuffle when the shuffle was a pile of crap.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, Backlash, I won't say it was wank. I quite enjoyed the show overall. Even though it's nearly 2 weeks removed and I can't remember half of it. But
I thought it was an easy watch.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Yeah. It was good. It was good fun.
I don't think I would have watched the whole thing had I not had to make this show.
Yeah. Well, saying that though, if you would have missed off the last... See, if I would have skipped through the last couple of matches, I would have missed out on what I thought was the best stuff. Really, I enjoyed. I mean, while Becky's match was the best match, I enjoyed the last 2 matches immensely. I thought they were good fun. So I was entertained. You know, I mean, I'm not being funny, and they stood out to me. Look, you know, I can remember Gunther and Pat McAfee because it was something. It's completely different to what I see day in day out on the rest of the show. So yeah. So well, that's the wrestling we've watched. We have watched I've watched everything. I don't know how much you've watched or the other TV shows.
I watch, like I say, I am not watching.
Well, you do YouTube on WWE, don't you?
I do YouTube on WWE.
Well, no, actually, because I did actually tweet this out because last week's Raw I thought was a good episode of Raw.
Yes, you did actually tweet that out.
It was, at LOB Wrestling on all the socials. I tweeted that out. Cheap plug. You know. But I did because I thought that wasn't actually a coherent show.
Yeah,
but with a through line all the way through. I thought it was rather interesting.
Have you seen Raw from last night?
Yes.
I haven't seen it myself, but I have heard very good things. Apparently, this is one of the better episodes that they've done recently.
Yeah, it weren't a bad one. It weren't a bad one as well. There was some good matches.
I heard that
I've already forgot.
Starks had a very nasty injury.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate. Yeah, because that was the main. I think that was the main event as well.
Oh, was it as well?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it was a triple threat match for a qualifying match, and pretty much straight away she came in for a drop kick and landed funny, and her leg just bent the wrong way. And
oh no, yeah, oh
yeah,
you could sort of see how that leg was not meant to bend that way.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. We had a couple of, I'm trying to struggle because there's so much wrestling going on. I'm trying to struggle. Even though I watched it this morning, I'm trying to remember what actually happened.
Yeah,
I remember it being okay. You had that. You had another qualifying match. Oh yeah, we found out that Roxanne Perez was on. She had she qualified for the Money in the Bank. She's officially on Raw now. Roxanne Perez.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
And
sorry, I just was thinking to myself there, she wasn't already.
No, well, because she was an NXT girl. And Julia is officially on SmackDown now as well.
Oh, is she?
So with that...
really surprises me. It feels like both of those girls just turned up to NXT, for a cup of coffee.
Roxanne Perez has been there for a while. Julia was quite quick, wasn't she?
Oh, am I thinking of I'm thinking of Julia Vacquez. Yeah,
You're thinking of Stephanie Vaquer.
Stephanie Vaquer, yeah.
Not Julia Vacquez, not Vasquez from Aliens. Stephanie Vaquer.
Vaquer.
Yeah,
right,
no,
yeah.
Julia.
I see her name in my mind, and I'm like, oh god, how do I pronounce that? Because it's mainly I mainly think about it.
Just Stephanie, Stephanie. But I mean,
there's only one Stephanie in WWE, Dave.
Not anymore.
You can't be calling just anybody just Stephanie.
But with those two moving up to the main roster and with the releases, it really feels like now the NXT women's division has really been gutted.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they do have a little, I believe it's called Battleground, NXT Battleground.
Yeah, the AEW counter programming this is. So so we've got a lot of wrestling this weekend coming up. This Saturday we've got Saturday night's main event, and on Sunday we've got AEW's Double or Nothing, which is the show that we will be watching first.
Yes, absolutely.
But also, I will watch this eventually. But also, counter programming NXT Battleground is also on. Yeah. So
I mean, I will watch one of these matches at the very least. One of these.
Well, I mean, on Battleground we've got Stephanie Vaquer is fighting Jordan Grace, which is the NXT Women's Division now.
Now, as an unabashed AEW fan, this to me might actually be my match of the weekend. Honestly. Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace. Stephanie Vaquer, I think, does absolutely, genuinely have a claim to being the best women's wrestler in the world.
Even though we're going to have we're most likely going to be having an Anarchy in the Arena match.
Anarchy in the Arena?
And we've got Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, now you've said that.
I don't think this will be. This is my WWE match of the weekend. I think this is going to be my WWE match of the weekend. So we'll start with the AEW counter programming then, I suppose, since we've already got the screen up. So we've got Stephanie Vaquer is going to be fighting Jordan Grace. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I like both these girls.
We do have Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. Just goes to show you though, he ain't under the desk. Yeah, giving me a cheeky little grin.
No, you'd have the cheeky little grin if he was under the desk.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Joe. Anyway,
Joe Hendry for me, extremely entertaining bloke. I don't remember a single match that I've ever seen of his.
Well, apart from the Randy Orton one.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, other than that, to be honest, I've not really watched any of his work yet, because his NXT run was before I started watching NXT.
I watched his work when,
I've seen bits, like when he was on Ring of Honor and things like that.
When the UK independent scene was blowing up, and he was on stuff like What Culture Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, things like that. But not like anything of note I can remember.
So I think that him versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams, was that the bloke who called Tony Khan a crackhead in the week? Did you see that storyline?
Was that him, or was that the other? Was that the?
It was somebody from NXT, but
might have been
Javon
Evans.
Javon Evans. Yeah. And I think Trick Williams might just be ever so slightly more professional than that.
I mean,
don't get me wrong. Hats off to the lad. The balls to call, a guy that you may very well one day have to rely on
for a job.
Come out and call him a crackhead,
Yeah, I mean, could be good, could be not good. Then we got D'Angelo versus Stacks.
D'Angelo, I don't think has enjoyed the greatest reputation in NXT. I think he's been there a long old time, and they haven't bothered bringing him up. Yeah, so which I think shows you the kind of faith they have in him.
Yeah, now this is like they were like in the group together. Yeah, I mean, this might be good. Not really bothered.
And the main event will most likely be Femi versus Miles Bourne.
Which I am intrigued about this one.
I am struggling to think of who Miles Bourne is.
He's the Randy Orton clone.
Oh.
The deaf guy.
The deaf guy?
Yeah, he's deaf.
He's deaf in one ear, right?
He's deaf in one ear. That's why he has the speech impediment.
Now I'm a bit more
he looks and moves. Yeah. He moves like Randy Orton.
I have to say, even though when we started doing this podcast, I did say that I'd watch more NXT, I've got to say it has flown under the radar.
Well, that's because they don't put it on YouTube.
Yeah, they don't put it on YouTube.
That's why you don't watch it.
They don't really. I suppose.
No, this guy is quite good actually. It's Miles Bourne. You'll probably watch this show, but he looks and moves like a young Randy Orton.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, spitting image. His body shape is the same. The way he moves, the way he does off the rope when he does the quick power stuff. Yeah. Everything. He looks like Randy Orton.
What's his finish?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
I wonder if one day he just Randy Orton comes up to him.
Give him an RKO. I'd be a bit much.
Gives him
but he's quite good.
I'll never hear him come. No, I'm not saying that. No, that is. No, that is. Oh Christ, cancel me now.
No,
that was fucking awful. Oh Jesus, my sincerest apologies.
Oh dear.
Oh fuck me, I'm supposed to be the good one.
Yeah, you're the good one. I'm the terrible one. He's good. He's good. He's a good wrestler. This Miles Bourne. I'm very looking forward to seeing more of what he does.
Yeah.
So
I've got to say, yeah, like I really want to see. It sounds like him versus Obafemi then would be a good match.
Yeah, because Obafemi's quite good as well.
Yeah. He's somebody who I think is. I need to see Obafemi have his big performance.
Yeah,
like, I don't think he's had his defining match yet, and I really want to see that happen.
So this will be a good show, but I mean, if you're only going to watch one, then AEW I would suggest watch over this.
Oh, but we also have
we're saving AEW because AEW is what we really want to talk about because Tony Khan pays us. Just kidding, he don't. I wish.
Why are you even bothering to
defend that?
Yeah, so
WWE sucks balls and I love AEW.
I mean, no one listening to this could ever seriously think that we are in the pockets of WWE.
That's true.
They pay for a mic for one thing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's true. They'd pay for a co-host as well. That would be quite good.
Yeah. I know, the one I found was shocking.
I know.
Ugh.
My one's getting cancelled apparently, so God, shocking. Anyway, Saturday night's main event.
Let's do this one bottom to top. Damien Priest versus
top. Damien Priest versus Drew McIntyre steel cage match.
Very much. I think this has potential to be even better than their WrestleMania match.
Yeah,
I think that these are the kinds of guys who, especially Drew McIntyre, you give him the seed of an idea at first, and then he just spends the next few months growing and developing it. And I reckon that this could be a really good match.
I really enjoyed Drew McIntyre's stuff at now.
What was his match with CM Punk? Was that just a steel cage match, or was that Hell in a Cell?
I think that was a Hell in a Cell. That was before I started watching, though, so I haven't seen that.
So I was just going to say, I did think to myself, the image of him versus CM Punk to me is surrounded by steel. But if it was a Hell in a Cell, I suppose that's better, because I did just think to myself, Drew McIntyre, steel cage match, twice within a few months. I mean, 6 months might even be longer than that now. Christ, where has 2025 gone?
I know.
This is
ridiculous.
Our 9th show. It feels like we started doing this
and we do it every 2 weeks
ago.
So that's 18 weeks.
Oh my God!
And we didn't start at the beginning of the year either. We started a few weeks in.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, next match: John Cena versus your childhood hero R-Truth.
Mm-hmm. Is that part of his gimmick?
Oh.
Your childhood hero?
I know. John Cena is R-Truth's childhood hero.
So why do you keep saying he's my childhood hero?
I'm saying R-Truth is your childhood hero.
I don't understand why you would say that.
Because I'm playing off of their gimmick.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
John Cena is R-Truth's childhood hero.
I thought you were trying to say,
and R-Truth is your childhood hero.
I thought you were trying to say, that I had something, that
No,
I had a thing for R-Truth in, his TNA run.
See, it goes to show you're not into the characters, Lee. You're not a believer in R-Truth. No, John Cena is R-Truth's childhood hero, even though R-Truth is older than John Cena.
I mean, yeah, that is a point, yeah. Yeah, because R-Truth has been around for longer than anybody is willing to admit.
K-Quick.
Yeah, he was, K-Quick, Ron Killings in TNA, in NWA, where he was the second ever black NWA world champion.
Yep.
Yep. Won a world championship, and a legit world championship. It might have fallen off the face of the earth, but the NWA world championship is a big deal, and I think he probably won that before John Cena ever won his first ever World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, I'm looking forward to this because I do like R-Truth. I want to see what silliness happens.
Yeah,
it's just going to be silly and a bit of fun, and probably R-Truth's going to get screwed by something. So,
and now we can talk about the reason why I will be tuning into this show.
Logan Paul. I'm just joking. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus
CM Punk and Sami
Seth
Zayn
Rollins.
Do you know what this adds to me?
Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker.
Do you know what this really feels like to me? This feels like a proper old school Saturday night main event match, which is going to be like the Mega Powers, Hogan and Savage versus Koloff and the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Is this show has the same feeling as a PLE?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. The PLEs feel like TV specials. The PLEs just feel like an episode of AEW Beach Break or
honestly,
or what's the Grand Slam or something like that. That's what they feel like the PLEs are nothing. But yeah, this match might be good. I don't know. Probably they're all good wrestlers.
I just really feel like this is going to be a lot of fun. This is just going to be like one of those. Back in the 80s and the early 90s where the crowds are just going absolutely bonkers and bananas.
If anything to go by recently, this is the one that's going to have all the bells and whistles on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this probably opens, I think. I don't think it will main because you've got 2 titles matches. Mind you, is John Cena our truth for the title? It ain't for the title, is it? Is that for the title? No, it's just a match. It's not for the title, is it?
Yeah, no, they're not putting the title.
Oh, so that might not go for that. See, that might. So so the tag match might go on.
I imagine John Cena versus R-Truth is just going to be 10 minutes of silliness from beginning to end.
Well, so we might have. I mean, I know this is a weird order.
Yeah, but I mean, unless they come up with another couple of matches on.
Well, no, because this is only these are like only 2-hour shows, aren't they? So 4 matches.
Even so.
Yeah, but you need 4 matches. You need an hour of that needs to be sponsorship deals.
Yeah, I need to see what city is.
Jey Uso's got to get to the ring. That's 20 minutes.
I'll tell you this now. I will have to hear from the internet that Jey Uso versus Logan Paul made people see God in order for me to even be slightly interested in it.
Well, that's another match that's going to be on the show. Jey Uso and Logan Paul, and I think that's going to be wank.
The 2 worst participants off of the 2 most disappointing matches of WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, this is going to be shit.
I think that is going to put to bed once and for all the idea that Logan Paul is a prodigy of a wrestler.
I'm going to watch it. They've got their chance to impress me, and if they do, then I'll give them their due next time. Mm-hmm. But I don't see this being good.
No.
I don't enjoy Jey Uso at all.
No,
I don't like his matches. No. When he cuts a promo, he sounds like a simpleton. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. He does. He sounds like an idiot. I mean, I know he's talking that way so the crowd can say yeet between everything he says, but he just sounds like a buffoon.
How far do you think we get before they start replacing yeet with what? Because I think he's got a shelf life on him, man. And I think we're going to see.
I don't know. People like to. I'm not being. See, the thing is, if I was in the crowd, I'd be yeeting. Let's be honest, because it's one of them things you just get with it, don't you? When you're in the crowd, you get with the most silly nonsense. So,
but this is the point for me. Like, this is the reason why I have lost interest in being, that and the price, but wanting to be a part of a WWE style crowd. I find Wrestle what I have dubbed it as. This thing where Randy Orton runs down makes his way down to the ring and he takes 20 minutes to get there because they have to play his theme song 3 times because the crowd are too busy singing along to it. I'm so bored and sick of it.
Oh, come on. You sung the final countdown.
I sung the final countdown.
Crowd, we sung Judas.
We sung Judas the first time.
Well, did he do Judas? Oh, no, we went for a piss the second time.
We went for a piss the second time, yeah. Because everybody did.
Everyone did.
Because they were sick of that shit.
Yeah.
We sang the final countdown and we went along with whose house? Swerve's house. Because that was the one point of the night where everybody got together
in unison. In a stadium, for a stadium. Yeah.
And now it happens with every other entrance.
Yeah. Well, I'm not being funny. You'd get into it if you was there. You're there. If I was there. You've had a few beers. You'd be eating.
I'm there. I've had a few beers. I'd be eating. I'd also be thinking to myself, Christ, I have to enjoy this because I've just had to take out a second mortgage in order to.
I mean, I'll be eating, but I'll be in the queue for the toilet eating.
Yeah.
With everyone else, just like. But yeah, that's.
Careful, you stop that by the time you get to the urinal.
I do. Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Just all of those fanning hands, all that urine is just splaying out.
Yeah. Because if it gets everywhere onto the urinals next year, then that's their fault for being it. Because as men code knows, toilet etiquette for men, you don't use the urinal next to another man. It's just etiquette.
You've never been to the toilet in Wembley, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm being facetious. I'm taking the piss. Yeah, rules go out the window when you're at a show like that, don't they? Just be fair.
Massively. Christ, I have linked arms with the person next to me when I've had a piss all in.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I think we've talked about WWE for one weekend.
AEW counter programming. Let's get rid of all this rubbish. Should we talk about the real wrestling that's gonna happen this?
See, I really did not want us to just become like a tribalist anti-WWE.
I'm not anti-WWE. I like watching some WWE, but I have to admit, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed AEW better. Yeah. It's a better program.
Yeah,
The only program for me that comes close is the NXT shows.
Yeah. And I would even say, and I was actually fully on board with the fact that earlier in the year, people were telling me NXT is the best show of the week, any given week. And I think last year, absolutely that would have been the case. But AEW's been on a roll. Yeah. It's just been on an absolute roll. I mean, normally I would have said NXT would have been up there with Collision. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not so much Dynamite would have been up there with Collision standard. But I mean, I don't know how I'm going to feel next since half the women have been gutted off of it. For me, when it comes to sitting down and watching the wrestling, I look forward to watching NXT. I look forward to it. You know, I'm watching the other shows, but I look forward to, you know. Right, should we get into AEW Double or Nothing?
Yeah. Shall we do this
Sunday?
From the bottom to the top, and then we'll talk about the match that we think is going to main event. Despite the fact that I actually think that the match that looks like it's a good main eventing right now probably could definitely main event.
Yeah, we'll go through the announced matches and then our speculation for the... Because we're assuming there's going to be an Anarchy in the Arena on this show. Mm-hmm. Although, according to Wikipedia, our official source for LOB Cast Wrestling, is... doesn't show that at the moment, so we're just going to go for listed.
Yeah, Anarchy in the Arena has not been officially announced. Swerve Strickland just at the end of last week's programme, at the end of that pretty messy, but I would say very fun cage match, just shouted, "We want Anarchy."
Well, let's go from... Because there's a few matches that they're probably going to be good, but we probably ain't got much of an opinion on yet. I mean, we've got Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet in a stretcher match, which is a bit random. I don't remember why this is a stretcher match.
Right, so
I know Mark Briscoe came out and helped Zach Gowen.
Yeah, so him and Matt Gowen have got a pretty extensive... Yeah, what did I say?
You said Matt.
Matt Gowen? Okay.
Zach.
Mark Briscoe and Zach Gowen have had a fairly extensive history on ROH.
Okay.
They had a bit of a rivalry back in the day.
I don't remember anything from Zach Gowen other than when he got beat up by Brock Lesnar, like back in early 2000s on SmackDown.
I mean, I remember, they had... WWE had a really good angle where they made him a hell of a babyface, and then they just wrote him off by having Brock Lesnar absolutely destroy him. So then he turned up in TNA a few weeks later with a bowler hat and umbrella, and that was like his gimmick. He basically turned up everywhere like he was a 19th century London banker. It was quite a sight to behold, but he was a very good cruiserweight. I heard
a rumour that he only got signed to WWE by a mistake.
Oh, really?
Apparently, there was another wrestler called Zach Gowen.
Oh!
And they signed the wrong one.
Right, okay. And it turned out the wrong one had one leg.
Yeah.
Which, as soon as Vince McMahon saw something like that, he would have just seen dollar signs. Yeah. But anyway, I've got to say, Ricochet...
I've been really enjoying Ricochet of late.
He is one of my most entertaining people. His match...
Since he turned heel, he's been great.
Oh. His match last week with Zach Gowen was actually one of my favourite things on that show.
Did you see when he went to put him in a figure 4 leg lock?
Me and Ricochet being cancelled together.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
It was. I mean, one thing I really enjoyed about this match as well, and one thing that made me think, you know what? Zach Gowen wouldn't mind you sticking around for a bit. He picked up the fucking leg and actually just hit Ricochet. He's supposed to be the playing footsie with me under the
do
table
there, it's Joe Hendry down there.
No Deadpool socks this week?
No, I got the Deadpool socks.
Oh, you got Deadpool socks on?
No, I'm being rude and I've got my trainers on in your ass. Let me take my shoes off. That's just rude of me. Just traipsing in my shoes.
I don't give a shit.
That's why. There we go. I've got them out now. Deadpool sock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not Lobcast without Deadpool socks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Ricochet, Mark Briscoe.
I think this is going to be... I mean,
I like both guys. Interesting stipulation. Should be fun.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be an absolute barrel of laughs. Well, It will be a violent barrel of laughs, but I think it will be a barrel of laughs.
I think it'll be quite good. Then we've got a tag team match. FTR are taking on Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness.
I will be honest, I haven't caught up with Collision yet, so this one has been a bit of a surprise to me sitting down and seeing this.
Yeah, well, I think it was, if I remember rightly, you had a segment where Daniel Garcia, Nigel McGuinness got in the ring and apologised for getting involved last week in that, and then basically you had Stokely came out and said, "Oh, FTA are in here," and started giving all the math, and then they got attacked by FTR.
Yeah.
So they made the match. So that's the match. So
I mean, I'll be honest, happy to see Nigel McGuinness get in the ring under any circumstances. I think. Oh Christ, the beer is repeating on me.
Speaking of which, I've run out of beer. I need a new one.
Help yourself.
There we go.
So Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness, very intriguing pairing for me. FTR are back being heels again. Thank the good Lord.
Yeah, they're better as heels.
They are so much better as heels than they
are
as faces.
I like them as baby faces, but they're better as heels.
But they've been baby faces for too long, though. They don't have the ideas to keep carrying off being baby faces.
Yeah.
They need to, they need to get back to... Before they turned face, and I know the reasons why they turned face, and I know that, he wanted to be a role model for his kid who survived cancer and all of that, and I think that's very admirable. But before that moment when they turned face, I could not for the life of me have ever envisioned FTR or the Revival, as they were known back in the day, as being a babyface team. For me, they were the eternal heels.
Yeah, but they were good as babyfaces. They're good as both, but I think they're better as heels. So yeah, I mean, it should be good. Nigel McGuinness is always good. Daniel Garcia is always good. FTR always good. So it should be a good wrestling match.
Absolutely.
I'm not particularly interested in the story going in, but it should be.
It's going to be a good old fashioned, NWA style tag team match. I think this is going to have Jim Crockett Productions written all over it. I'm quite looking forward to that. I do like the throwback matches when the people understand what they're doing and not just trying to wank off Cornette or
old Jimmy will like this one. But,
absolutely.
So next time, Toni Storm is taking on Mina Shirakawa for the women's championship. This is a bit of a out of nowhere.
Yeah, probably the most... I mean, the reason why this has happened, I think, is simply because of the fact that I think Mina pinned Timeless Toni Storm.
Yeah, and it was an eliminator match anyway. It was a four-way eliminator.
It was an eliminator match.
Word on the street is Mina is going to be getting a hefty push.
Yeah, I think they're going to basically slot her into the Mariah May.
Yeah, I mean, is that because Mariah May's leaving, or is this a ploy to try and keep Mariah May because they're really good friends, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I have the slight.
I mean, are we assuming that Mariah May's leaving and the rest why she's not been on telly because Tony's just shouting her out like everyone else?
It's been right. So I get the feeling because this has been such a tropey thing for AEW. I think possibly they have created a storyline that leans in to the reputation that AEW have gotten. And
give us a surprise when she does come back, you mean?
Yes. However...
It wouldn't surprise you.
I'm a little bit like, I often take the piss out of people who constantly talk about that's a work, everything's a work.
Yeah.
And they don't ever consider the real life of the wrestlers and things like that. So I'm saying I'm more willing to believe that what's happening with Mariah May right now is a storyline than I have been previously.
I just think there's more money for her to be made staying in AEW, really.
Yeah, I mean...
With the stories and that. I don't see going to NXT or something is going to benefit much, really.
If they put her in NXT when she has clearly shown herself to be more than TV ready, I will be flabbergasted.
She'll go into NXT. Well, NXT has just been gutted out, so she'll go to NXT.
Yeah,
she will. Mm-hmm. I hope she stays in AEW because I want to see her fight Toni Storm again.
Yeah, personally, I mean, as I keep saying, the Hollywood ending, I think, is the best women's match I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've got to go back and rewatch that.
Oh, it's genuinely.
Maybe when we do our little weekend that we was talking about before the show, none of you had the pre-show ramble, but we was discussing getting together and watching some wrestling. But maybe we can put some of these matches and playing video games. But yeah, anyway, that was a private thing, but I just thought I'd mention it. We rewatched the Hollywood ending because I want to rewatch it. But yeah, so this match might be good. I don't mind Mina Shirakawa. I think Mina Shirakawa is one of them wrestlers. She's quite good when she wrestles someone who's good. And when she wrestles someone who's not so good, then she's a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching her fight Serena Deeb, and I thought it was one of the most god-awful things I've ever seen.
Yeah, some wrestlers can carry and some wrestlers can't, and I'm not sure that Mina Shirakawa is a carrier. I think Toni Storm can carry. Yeah. So I imagine this is going to be an absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is great. This is going to be good. I mean, to be honest, very, very rarely do we have bad. I mean, unless John Moxley's in the match, they're very rarely they're bad matches. Are they? Let's be honest. Well, next we got the Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas.
Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. Yeah, for those of you who don't watch Ring of Honor. Yeah,
so Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara are back in AEW. Now are they just randomly?
Yeah,
just turn up back on AEW television, go for the titles.
I am interested in this match to see how MJF plays into it.
Yeah, and I'm also interested because I've realised that we're not far away from All In Texas.
Yeah.
So could we have some sort of weird upset?
I don't think
we will, but
well, considering as how the Sons of Texas are also the ROH tag
or does this lead into a storyline further where they have a rematch at All In Texas? Do you know what I mean? It could
possibly.
It could lead into a storyline.
Right. So just for a bit of context, because I realise I've just brought up MJF's name, and you lot might not understand why I'm bringing up MJF and the Hurt Syndicate in the same sentence. So MJF has recently been courting the Hurt Syndicate, trying to join their faction. And he's recently been let in after Bobby Lashley has been cock-teasing him for the last 2 months. Yeah. Or at least that's how long it feels.
So, well, apparently on this week's episode he's signing the paperwork to actually join. So there could be some shenanigans and he might not join, which could lead into...
Yeah, so a lot of the time when they bring up the Hurt Syndicate and MJF, one name that gets bandied about quite a bit is... oh God, what's Big Swole's husband's name? Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
So some people think that Cedric Alexander is going to rock up, beat the hell out of MJF, and sign those papers for himself. So he joins the Hurt Syndicate instead.
Yeah, because he's 90 days finished now.
Yeah, and that will lead MJF to screwing the Hurt Syndicate out of the titles at Double or Nothing, which... Now that you've mentioned the fact that All In Texas, I think is pretty much going to be the very next pay-per-view that AEW puts on.
Is it July? Yeah, I think it's the next pay-per-view. It's July, isn't it?
Yeah, so All In Texas, July 12th.
Yeah. Because we haven't got anything in June, have we?
No, we might have like a Grand Slam or something like that. We might have a special episode of Dynamite, but I don't think
when will All In be?
All In? We just said July 15th.
When will All Out be, rather? Sorry, All Out. Because
that's usually September.
Don't they usually do it like 2 weeks after All In?
Well, remember...
Oh, yeah, because All In used to be in August, didn't it? Yes, okay.
Because apparently they only come to London for the August bank holiday. They're doing Forbidden Door in London instead.
They switched, Yeah, because it used to be All In on the bank holiday, and then it's a bank... It's like a American holiday like Memorial Weekend or something like that, or some I don't know American holidays, but yeah, so that's it. So then the final two matches on this card are both the Owen Hart tournament finals. We've got the Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné and Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay.
Well, let's talk about the Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné one first.
Looking forward to this one.
Very much looking forward to this. However, I've got to say, this has got to be the match in which Jamie Hayter comes out. A lot of people are saying that she's going to be the person who wins this because Mercedes Moné versus Timeless Toni Storm. Like, it's not going to happen yet.
Yeah, I think Mercedes needs to lose her title on that first.
Yeah.
And she's already started losing some of the other belts.
Yeah, but I think Mercedes Moné is probably going to end up losing her TBS World Championship to Texas's Athena in All In.
Yeah,
I think that's probably what's going to happen there, which means that Jamie Hayter is going to be against.
Yeah, but see, that's the
Toni
thing.
Storm.
So if Jamie Hayter wins this and then goes on to beat Toni Storm, then we can have the rematch of Mercedes versus Jamie Hayter for the World Championship. Then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then Mercedes can then win the world title eventually. Because I think that's where Mercedes needs to be on the World Championship thing now.
Oh, really. Absolutely. Like, I've really been liking her run so far. She has got that sort of like one of my favourite things about AEW is that AEW does like Mercedes Moné's TBS Championship to me is what sports presentation is all about. It is about two people who are two of the world's best wrestlers are fighting with each other for no other reason than that they are two of the world's best wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they tell a story in the ring. Their feud lasts from the time the bell rings to start the match and the time the bell rings to end the match. Yeah. And that is it.
And that's pretty much the same as what the international title for the men's was like. And then you have the crazy storylines for the World Championship.
And a lot of Darby Allin's run with the TNT Championship and Cody Rhodes' run with the TNT Championship. And that was all fantastic to me. And this is, but I think Mercedes Moné, if she's going to be the star that AEW wants her to be, and that frankly she thinks she is, she needs to get involved in more involved storylines.
Yeah. I think she is. Yeah. I think she's one of the best women's. Her and Timeless Toni Storm are probably the best women's wrestlers in the world at the moment.
Before Jamie Hayter got injured, I would have absolutely said that about her as well.
Yeah.
But then she came back. She has not done an awful lot. She has done really well in the previous Owen Hart Foundation.
Yeah, but she hasn't been put in a lot though, has she? No. She hasn't been put in a position to succeed like that.
And to me, this is where Jamie Hayter really has to come out and remind everybody why loads of people were saying before she got injured that she was the best women's wrestler on planet Earth.
I'm looking forward to this.
And I think that this is the platform for her to do it, because I think that in the what will probably be 12th of July, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks between Double or Nothing and All In. She will have that time to build up the match between her and Toni Storm.
Yeah.
And that is going to be, the time that they have to really cement their history together, the time that they spent in London, the time that they've spent in Australia, the time that they spent in America together, and just, absolutely hammer home the history between them two, the fact that these are two of the best women's wrestlers ever. Yeah. For me, Toni Storm is maybe the greatest female sports entertainer in the history of professional wrestling. Maybe not the best wrestler, but definitely the best sports entertainer.
Well, she's one of the best. How many women's wrestlers do you think are better wrestlers than her?
Oh, maybe 2, 3 tops. Absolute tops.
Not many. There's not many.
Maybe Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
Maybe Becky Lynch. And further down the line, probably Jordan Grace, and Julia, and all the girls currently coming up in the NXT.
I don't think they're better than Toni Storm,
but they might get there eventually. But at the moment, the list is you couldn't count on one hand.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great match.
Yeah,
Probably one of the matches of the night, I'd say. Hopefully. I mean, it also has the biggest potential to let me down as well.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with it.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening.
I think this is going to be brutal, and I think this is going to be one of the most brutal matches of the night. considering we predict there's going to be an Anarchy in the Arena match happening.
Yeah.
And not one weapon will be picked up. This will be entirely two women just
battering each other,
ripping each shit.
It's going to be violent, like in a good way, in a non, no weapons and all that. And then we're going to have probably the match of the weekend.
Oh,
could be a match of the year contender.
Oh my god, I am so.
Because to be honest, my list, if I was going to make a top 10 list of match of the years, there's not many that I would consider on there at the moment. There's a lot to beat.
Yeah,
that was easily beat. So this could be on my list quite easily. A match of the year contender. Hangman Page and Will Ospreay in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament final.
Oh my brother, testify! Oh my!
I don't even know who's going to win this one.
No,
this could go either way.
That's the best thing in professional wrestling. That is the absolute best thing. I want both of them to win.
Yeah, I want both of them to win because I would love to see Will Ospreay. Well, you know what though? Saying that, I want both of them to win, but I don't want to watch any of them fight Jon Moxley.
Oh, if anybody, right, okay. So,
I'll tell you what, if Will Ospreay wins and goes on to have a match of the year contender with Jon Moxley, then Will Ospreay will be undoubtedly the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah. These
no
two,
question.
Right, so there are three people who I guarantee would have a incredible match with Jon Moxley, and two of them are in this match. The other one is Swerve Strickland. But yeah,
no. Swerve Strickland had a shit match with Jon Moxley. We've already seen that.
Oh,
it was awful.
I forgot that happened.
It was. I know, trauma. It was awful. It was one of. Go back a couple of episodes on the LOB Cast, and we told you it was awful. It was the most wank thing I've ever seen. It was
Dynasty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most wank thing I've ever seen because it was better than him and
Cope.
And him and Copeland, yeah. But it was dog shit. But yeah, I mean, these two could have a good match. But I'm looking forward to this match because I love Hangman Page and Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world at the moment.
Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world at the moment.
There's not even a debate in who's the best wrestler in the world at the moment.
No.
You know, because Bryan Danielson is probably retired. So that makes Will Ospreay the best wrestler in the world by default. Easily, no question.
I mean, Will Ospreay, best wrestler in the world. Hangman and Page, I would say, maybe the best character.
Possibly.
Did you see that sequence in their match against Josh Alexander and Takeshita?
Where he almost did the hidden blade, stopped 2 inches from his face.
Oh my god, that whole thing, from beginning to end, it was about 4 or 5 moves where one of them almost hits the other, and then
So for context of people listening, to build to this match, these two teamed up against the Don Callis family. Josh Alexander and Takeshita.
How will they coexist?
Yeah, it was a how will they coexist. So Will Ospreay and Hangman Page teamed together.
Yeah.
So then go. So for people who didn't watch the wrestling, but yeah, now go on to the sequence.
So the sequence, which I think was absolute perfection, and I can't quite remember the exact order, but it's Hangman Adam Page almost hits Will Ospreay with the buckshot lariat.
Yes, yeah, because one of them ducks out the way, and then Will Ospreay ducks, doesn't it? Because Will Ospreay's behind the guy,
and then I think Will Ospreay
goes for the hidden blade, doesn't he?
Goes for the hidden blade, yeah. And he stops mere inches from the nose of Hangman Adam Page. And Adam Page is looking at Will Ospreay's elbow that was this close to hitting him.
Yeah, because
it had just shot his family.
Yeah, because I think he went for the buck. Hangman went for the buckshot. Was it Josh or Takeshi? I think it was Josh. Wasn't it? Josh ducks it.
Yeah.
And then Will Ospreay's directly behind him, and Will Ospreay ducks it. So then Hangman turns around, and then Will Ospreay goes for the hidden blade on Josh. Josh ducks it, but then Will Ospreay stops an inch.
It's not like I've catalogued a lot of these in my entire time on this planet, but I think that might be the greatest.
But see, that's the thing. We were talking about Backlash and all the wrestling. There's so much wrestling, and we was talking about things that stand out. And you remember that sequence.
That stands out.
Perfect, pitch perfectly. Yeah. I can remember that sequence. And even when we was talking about Ricochet earlier, I can remember the Zach Gowen match with the thing. You know, these things I can remember. And I can't remember a lot of the WWE stuff.
No. It's getting to the point now where WWE has honed their formula down to such a point where they don't do anything that is outside of the things they know get like huge reactions. So it is all about walking down to the ring, basking in the atmosphere of the crowd, and then, you know, a match
Sponsors,
which is
a match.
A match which has a lot of boring stuff in it at first and then explodes into
a YouTube clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the classic thing that everybody says about especially main event WWE matches, it's like they saved up all their finishers and they just went at them all at once.
Yeah.
You know. And it's just, so this
is going to be a match.
This is the kind of thing where I am, I'm a jaded man. I am, even though AEW is probably my favourite wrestling product that I have ever regularly watched, even then I am struggling to be as excited for a lot of the stuff that happens in it as I was when I was younger, watching stuff that I can objectively tell you isn't quite as good. I remember getting really excited for Ring of Honor back in the day, really excited for TNA, even really excited for a lot of Ruthless Aggression era WWE. And it's, you know, I'm almost 40. It's getting harder for me to be excited about stuff. This is...
Well, that's what I was saying about the NXT show. Because, I mean, I enjoy watching me Dynamite and Collision. But I look forward to watching NXT.
Yeah.
Not so much the last week or two, but then I suppose a lot of the women's... Because they've been a lot more men's matches. And I really like the women's stuff in NXT. But, when it comes to an AEW pay-per-view, I'm always excited to watch an AEW pay-per-view. I love it. You know, I mean... You know, I'm glad it's a bank holiday weekend because it means I don't have to turn my phone on and get it spoiled. Because, you know, I wish AEW did all their pay-per-views on Saturday like they started off when they started, because I want to not get spoiled. I want to enjoy my wrestling. I don't want to turn my phone on.
It's impossible. I turn on my television, and because I have a smart TV, my television immediately shows me thumbnails for a bunch of YouTube videos that are spoiling the results for AEW. And how else am I going to fucking watch
maybe you need to watch some other stuff on YouTube to get another hobby.
Oh, God. Start watching e-girls prance around in their underwear. That's what I'll start doing.
I thought you did that already. You need to do that on your main account. So then it changes your algorithm. That's what you need to do. But so... As for AEW, just do it on the main one, Lee. No one cares. No one cares. Just like it on your main one. I do. No one cares. They really don't. And if someone comments on it, just do it more. That's what I did.
Yeah, but the difference...
I did that on Facebook. Someone said, "Oh, why'd you like that for?" So then I just started doing it more to piss them off.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the matches that we hypothesise might be on this?
Well, I mean, obviously there's going to be an Anarchy in the Arena. They've teased it. It's going to happen, I predict. So we're going to have an Anarchy in the Arena. Don't really know who the participants are going to be. I'm assuming we're going to have some women in it, though.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to have Marina and Willow.
Yeah.
Which is going to be interesting because I know Tony Khan doesn't like intergender stuff.
I don't think it's not that he doesn't like it. It's that he understands advertisers don't.
Yeah, so I think so. We might obviously have like the women hit the men, but I don't think we're going to have the men hit the women.
Yeah, like Mina Shafir will put like
Yeah, you might get like Willow Powerbomb Wheeler Uter or something. Or,
that would be fun.
But I don't. But so it'll be interesting to see how they incorporate them into the match.
Yeah. So we're going to have Death Riders, obviously, and that's going to be
some sort of combination.
Yeah, so it'll be Moxley. Definitely will be in there.
Yeah, but it looks like we're going to have Gabe Kidd as well from New Japan.
Yeah.
So and the Young Bucks. So how many? What would we say? Normally 5 or 6 in these matches.
Yeah. So we're already getting him, Gabe Kidd, the Young Bucks, and Marina Shafir. That's 5.
And maybe either Wheeler or
Claudio.
We could have 7.
Claudio Castagnoli?
I would do 7 on 7.
Is that his name in AEW?
Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
getting confused with Cesaro. I've completely forgotten.
It's the same guy.
Yeah, I've completely forgotten which was his AEW, which was his normal name, and which was his WWE name.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could possibly have up to 7.
Yeah, you could do,
if that's the case.
But
I mean, because I don't think you're going to have, what's his name? What's Penny Drop? What's his name? Rainmaker.
Kazuchika.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I think you'll probably have 3 Death Riders, because Pat's 3 Death Riders, Gabe Kidd, the Young Bucks, and Miss Rayna. So that could be 7. But then who would they face with the 7?
So I know it's definitely going to be. I reckon it'll probably be
Swerve.
The Ops, yes.
So is do you think
and Willow? So that's who's injured in the Ops. I keep forgetting who's injured in the Ops.
Is it Hooks injured?
Yeah,
he had a concussion.
So it'll be Joe, Shibata, and Hobbs.
Yeah, Joe Shibata. We'll have Joe Shibata, Hobbs, Swerve, and Willow, and then probably 2 more. I don't know how long Darby Allin takes to get off a mountain.
No, he's going to still be up there for a while, mate. Apparently, it's even worse trying to come down Everest than it is trying to get up.
I would have thought Tony would have sent a helicopter up to get
there. Mate, if it was that easy to get to the top of Everest, everyone would fucking
Yeah, but it's not climbing there, is it?
Yeah.
If you do that. I flew to Mount Everest. Well done. You know what I mean?
As if like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos wouldn't do that straight away.
So we're looking at possibly two more possibilities that we could possibly have for the good guys.
Cope, I think probably would be one.
A returning Cope, maybe a returning Cope could be. Yeah, because remember Anakin Arena. In previous years, we've had a song playing through the matches.
Oh, yes.
So we could have Alterbridge playing.
Metalingus.
Bit of Metalingus playing. So that could be a good shout, actually, a returning Cope.
Also, if we're talking about returns, please, Mary Jesus, Mother of God, Eddie Kingston.
That could be a good one as well.
Eddie Kingston has been missing from wrestling for so fucking long. He has... Oh my God, you think you and... So, Dave and my mate Nick, we are in a Instagram meme sharing messaging board together. And you guys think you have been annoying me by posting shit tons of memes onto that feed. Eddie Kingston recently has blown his feed up. He is on my stories every single day with what must be 50 or 60 different clips of All Japan Pro Wrestling from back in the day. We're doing 90s hip hop and all of this other New York shit and proper old school Japanese wrestling stuff. I think he's gearing up. I better
start following Eddie Kingston.
Oh mate, he is a fascinating follow. But I tell you this now, you will go onto his stories or whatever those
the reels,
yeah. Whatever those things are, you will see how many he's done. You'll be like, oh, this might be my own Everest, to get through all of these. But yeah, no, absolutely, Eddie Kingston. He feels like he's gearing up for something.
Yeah, Anakin Arena would be a good, good one to come back on. So if there is only 6, then it could be the 3 Ops member. Well, it could be Shibata, Hobbs, Joe, Swerve, Willow, and a returning Kingston.
Kingston, yeah. That has made me... if I hear the Mad King theme music in the middle of... in the middle of an Anarchy in the Arena match, I might start dancing in the middle of my living room.
Yeah. I know Ness will go mental with shit because I think Ness likes a bit of Eddie Kingston as well. She's got a bit of much. She loves Mark Briscoe as well, so she's going to love this one. So yeah,
Mark Briscoe is fucking lovable.
I love Mark Briscoe.
I'm so glad they actually made him a regular fixture. Of AEW. He has been such a steady hand for the brand.
It's just a shame that he had to lose his brother for it to happen.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? It's just.
Him and Brody, such a waste, such an senseless waste. Anyway. Christ, we've got another thing to talk about.
Since we've gone over the wrestling and we've, I think that's a perfect segue into Sabu. We sadly lost Sabu this week.
Oh man, this.
Yeah, and he had his retirement match a few weeks back, didn't he? WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania weekend. Yeah, I mean it's a tragedy. I feel the same sort of sense of eeriness from this as I did when Ultimate Warrior died.
Yeah,
like the very night that he basically gave his big retirement speech in front of
the next day, didn't he? Yeah,
just.
Yes, I mean we don't know actually. I mean, as of recording, there's no. There's been no like cause of death or anything as to say.
No, and I'm not going to get into any of the speculation.
No, we don't want to get into that business.
No,
I mean, to be honest, it could have been a number of things. First start, he was 60.
Yeah.
Number two, he was probably one of the most extreme hardcore wrestlers ever.
Yep.
Even though he never went in thumbtacks.
Did he never go in thumbtacks?
He refused to go in thumbtacks.
He refused to go in thumbtacks.
Which is funny, because he refused to jump on thumbtacks, but he would gladly jump in barbed wire.
I mean, we've all got our lines, and some of us have weirder lines than others.
Yeah.
For example, me, I refuse to ever get involved in a wrestling match. Just a personal preference.
That's true. I wouldn't mind doing it, like, properly, rather than backyard stuff. You done backyard wrestling, though, surely?
Me?
Have you never done any backyard wrestling?
I've played wrestling with my cousins a few times. That's probably as extreme as I ever got. What did you do? You went through a bus stop or whatever it was?
Oh, that wasn't wrestling. That was just fun. It wasn't fun. No, that wasn't wrestling.
He fucked his face up for fun.
But we done hardcore backyard wrestling. We used to do all sorts of shit. The amount of stuff I've had smashed over my head is ridiculous. One of the worst ones.
It explains an awful lot.
Well, my mate, he hit me. We were just started wrestling in the street. Cardboard box. I thought, empty cardboard box. He's hit me on the top of the head with it. Crack. I thought, what the fuck was that? Opened it up. There's an HP printer in it. He's picked up a box with an HP printer and just dropped it on the top of my head.
Oh my god!
I mean, to be fair, our power bomb.
I'm making a note of this because if we ever start clipping stuff out to do YouTube shorts, that is at the top.
I mean, to be fair, I power bombed him through a scoreboard and knocked him out cold for like 10 seconds. So, we used to do some crazy stuff, but yeah, we used to have a good old backyard wrestling. So you've never done a swanton bomb off a climbing frame onto one of your mates?
Do I look like I would ever be able to get the rotation of a swanton bomb?
Well, if I can get the rotation of a swanton bomb...
Jesus fucking Christ, Dave. Like, look at me, and I don't think the word aerodynamic would ever...
I used to be able to hit a perfect swanton bomb, right? And one of my mates, I remember once, so I would do it quite good, and my mate he was scared to take it, right? Now, a swanton bomb, you hit him with the top of your shoulders and roll off. He was like, "Oh, I don't want you to do that. Like, can you land in front of me and hit me with your legs?" I was like, "All right then." I've never done it before. So, of course, I'd done it, and instead of hitting him with my legs, I just done what Jeff Hardy does with a swanton bomb now, and just went bang, full force straight on him from like 7 foot in the air.
Oh, mate. So anyway, that was our tribute to Sabu.
Sabu, yeah.
Somehow, like
backyard wrestling.
Yeah, an inspiration to millions.
Dave Van Damme is a legend.
That's where he gets his Twitter handle from.
DVD.
Or his Blue Sky thing. I don't know what he is on these days.
Yeah.
I speak to him enough without speaking to him on social media.
Yeah.
Favourite matches?
I thought it was quite funny back in the day because, mid-2000s DVDs were the rage, weren't they? So... And RVD was my favourite wrestler. But yeah, I digress. I did a mean swanton bomb.
I mean, for me, so I'm guessing that you mainly know him from his work in ECW?
Yes.
Me personally, I mainly know him from his work.
I've seen some Japan stuff.
Okay,
you always going to say TNA, weren't you?
For me, he was a stalwart of, like, him and Abyss.
Yeah,
like,
Monsters Ball stuff.
Matches, oh, God, that stuff was just, Abyss back in the day was he was like this weird combination of Kane and Mankind, just an absolute phenom. of a professional wrestler, and that probably the best producer of matches WWE has is the best. Yeah. Chris Parks, an absolutely phenomenal worker, and the work that he did with Sabu is personally those are the strongest memories I have.
Yeah,
of Sabu.
There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of ECW stuff. I mean, particularly, my match recommendation today is one that I will get into a bit later, but also one that I wanted to recommend was the barbed wire match with Terry Funk.
Oh, really?
But it's not on any legitimate sources. So, but if you do get a chance to see the infamous barbed wire match with Terry Funk, barbed wire rope match with Terry Funk, what a great match that one is. But yeah, there's lots of stuff. Him versus RVD, good stuff. There's lots of stuff. ECW stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to remember a lot of it because it is like 20 odd years old now. So, but yeah, so getting to Sabu.
Well, I was going to say we are running up the clock here. We're almost at
I was indicating with watch so you could show me without the fans. Like I was saying time so you could show me how far we got in. And how far we done? Lee?
Yeah, we're on like 125. On 126.
We've done some Sabu tribute. Should we get on to our actual?
Let's do Wrestle Club. Yeah,
match recommendations. Speaking of
Sabu,
let's
talk about the ones we did previously. And then we'll move on to the...
So previously... let's go... What did I recommend you? I can't remember now. What did I recommend you?
Oh, Christ, what did you recommend?
What did I recommend you?
That was it.
Oh, yeah, Undertaker and Jeff Hardy in a ladder match in Raw, 2002. Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah. This was part of the Make It Famous sort of thing. Yeah. So, like, I remember his match with... Triple H actually more, I've got to say.
What, Jeff Hardy's match?
Yeah, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy had a couple of really good matches in this period, in his time. The Undertaker match was one, and his match against Triple H was another. Yeah. Where Triple H was like weirdly taking him under his wing, and like Jeff Hardy kept trying to be a sportsman to Triple H, and Triple H just kept smacking him around the face and going, "Fight me!" And that is kind of like my bigger sort of takeaway from sort of that. But no, this was brutal. Like, Undertaker absolutely destroyed Jeff Hardy, and he had a very, very, very big babyface comeback. Yeah. Which is, yeah.
It was a good old match. It was a good old match. I remember it fondly. It's one of them ones that I remember, and it's like, 23 years old?
Yeah.
And I remember it, yeah. I more remember the Undertaker raising his hand at the post match.
Yes,
stuff, really.
Yeah. They've replayed that so many times. Yeah, that is one of the most replayed moments I think of WWE TV.
About it, climb the ladder, make you famous. That's great match. Well, you recommended me. Well, on the LOB Cast, you recommended me something which doesn't exist, if I remember rightly.
I completely Mandela affected myself into thinking that there was a match between John Cena, AJ Styles, and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I think there was one. It was instead of.
I think instead of AJ Styles, it was Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but so what we put on the doobly-doo was
the description.
This the doobly-doo. The doobly-doo down below. There we go.
The doobly-doo down below. Yes.
Is the
I just get worried people don't have a fucking clue what we're talking about when we say that.
See, if we had a video, I'd be probably pointing or something. The doobly-doo down. I'll say the doobly-doo down below. Shall I? Doobly-doo, but so we went with John Cena versus AJ Styles from SummerSlam 2016. Mm-hmm. I watched this yesterday.
Oh, right.
I watched it last night because obviously I was putting it off because vision problems. I had my eye surgery the other week, so
how did that go? Oh, I should have asked this before.
We'll talk about the eye surgery post-show, but yeah. So watching wrestling's been a bit challenging. So I watched this yesterday. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
It's like, this 2016 John Cena is maybe one of the best John Cenas.
Yeah, well, because I watched this one on YouTube. Yeah, I didn't bother going into Netflix, which I normally do. And then I've been recommended it. Now the algorithm has told me there's a few other matches between these two.
Oh, yeah.
So I might go and check them out if that's what you recommend. I might check them out. Since I'm not back at work till like next week now. I'm still signed off. on the eyeball. So I might chill out and watch some more John Cena and AJ Styles. So
sorry, I'm gonna change.
Are you googling your match?
It depends if I can find a genuine, proper. Oh hell, they've just literally put it. Okay, so my match recommendation was going to be something else, but now we've started discussing it. I am simply going to say, let's just fucking roll Sabu's most extreme TNA matches, and let's pick something from this fight. From this video, we will put this in the doobly-doo.
Yeah, should we just recommend this whole video?
Yeah. It is
it's
2
Sabu.
hours and 22 minutes.
I mean, what is it? Well, we got the Monsters Ball from 2005. I might watch this.
3 Sabu versus Abyss matches, which every single fucking one of them is going to be an absolute barn burner. Sabu versus Samoa Joe. 2 Sabu versus Rob Van Dam, and Sabu tagging with Rob Van Dam against the Lucha Brothers.
I think.
Oh my god, people! This is an official show, an official video as well. We don't even need to pirate this shit.
From TNA's YouTube channel.
Oh, this is going straight in the doobly.
Sabu's most extreme TNA matches. Well, this is going to be the recommendation from Lee, I suppose, because you was going to recommend one of these matches.
I was going to recommend one of them, but now I'm just like, why?
You know what? The man passed away. Watch the whole lot.
Watch the
2 hours. Skip Raw. You know, the amounts, you know what? Skip WWE's counter programming this weekend and watch this. There we go. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this tomorrow, I think.
I am going to relive
You know what the annoying thing is? If this is your official recommendation, I have to watch this now. If that's for the LOB Cast, I have to sit and watch 2 hours and 22 minutes of.
Tell me the next time you see me that this was not the best 2 hours and 22 minutes of wrestling that you saw the entire week.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. Because, to be honest, this is far superior to some of the things you've recommended me in recent weeks.
I mean, honestly.
Which is why I'm surprised that John Cena match was good, because it's probably one of the best things you've recommended me.
I have recommended you, like stuff that I thought you would find more amusing rather than anything.
To be honest, I am off work, so technically with one eyeball I can watch one of these. So, but if I had to pick one, Lee, what one will I? Because we're not going to sit and discuss all these on the next LOBcast, so let's pick one to discuss.
One to discuss, I'm going to go smack bang in the middle, and I'm going to say Sabu versus Abyss, Genesis 2005.
Okay, fair enough. Because I don't know if I've seen a lot of these. I probably have, because I was watching TNA at this time.
Yeah. TNA 2005 is golden period TNA.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely watching in 2006.
Yeah. This is just when they got into their impact period after being in the NWA Asylum for so long. Yeah. And just before the main event Mafia came along and made everything shit.
I don't know how many of because I don't know how many of the pay-per-views I actually bought though. Yeah. So I remember watching the TV, but I don't know how many of the pay-per-views. So yeah, I'm going to watch this, especially that one in the middle. But as for my one, I had to write this down because to pronouncing the names. So this for mine is from a long time ago. ECW Heatwave 98.
Ooh.
This is, and the match
Do you know what? I think this is one of the few ECW shows that I've actually seen.
This is Rob Van Dam and Sabu are taking on Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki. If that's how I was pronounced right.
There we go. Yeah, we got something in the WWE.
There's a Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki.
Yeah.
ECW Heatwave 98. It is on the WWE Vault. We'll link it in the doobly-doo down below. It's a good match. Sadly, Sabu and Hayabusa are no longer with us. No. Hayabusa is the guy who broke his neck, I think, doing a moonsault.
Yeah.
He was meant to be. He was like the next big thing in Japan, wasn't he? He was going to be, and then he unfortunately paralysed himself.
If you've ever, because that moment did get caught on camera. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, well, I think it was on a Dark Side of the Ring recently.
Yeah,
or the other year.
It is one of the most gnarly bumps you'll ever see in your life.
It's one of the most disgusting things. Yeah, but this is a good match. I sat and watched this the other week just to make sure it was still good. Because I hadn't seen this for about 20 years.
I'm looking at this now, and this is in 1998, and Sabu, especially compared to what my vision of Sabu is in 2025, he looks so young there.
Yeah, he's about 30, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's about 30 something.
Looking at his body, like, that is not the body of a 30-year-old. Even there, he has beaten himself up to hell. Like, look at the scarring on him. Look at the scarring on his torso and his arms.
But this is a good old fun. I mean, obviously by today's standards, you know, I mean, a lot of it, Sabu stuff by today's standards. But see, that's the beauty of Sabu. Like, a lot of his stuff, like, it looked ugly. And that was the beauty of it. Mm. You know, it looked like it was a dude jumping on someone through a table with meaning in it. Not like a perfectly choreographed swan dive through a table to break me fall. No, it was like, I'm going to smash you through a piece of wood.
Absolutely.
With the intent to hurt you.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was probably one of the greatest wrestlers on ever ECW. One of the greatest hardcore wrestlers ever.
Mm. But, he was an icon. The things that he did in ECW, the things that he brought into the mainstream thinking, are a lot of the stuff that in professional wrestling today we get sick of.
Table bumps, as you know, don't. I mean, you can remember the Dudley Boys fondly all you want, but it was Sabu who brought table bumps into things.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, springboard leg drops and things like that. You know, it was just crazy stuff.
He was the person who basically invented what indie wrestling became.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, and he never got the credit. He never made as much money as he should have. Mm. You know.
I mean, you can tell that because he was still wrestling at 60 for Joey Janela in
Well,
GCW.
I mean, rumour had it, like, apparently he got the opportunity to sign for WWE quite early on.
Yeah.
But they wanted him to put him with the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
And he thought that was an insult to his uncle. Mm-hmm. Because his uncle's the original Sheik, for people who don't know. Mm. And he thought that was an insult to his uncle, so he never done it. Mm. So, yeah. So...
a lot of Sheiks in professional wrestling.
A lot of Sheiks.
Kenny Omega's uncle was the Golden Sheik.
I'm unfamiliar to go. I probably know the Golden Sheik because I can't remember now.
Yeah.
There's so many.
I actually think...
It's like trying to remember how many Anawais there are.
There's a possibility, and I might be making an absolute fool of myself when I'm saying this, but there's a possibility the Golden Sheik was actually Don Callis.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I know he wrestled.
Speaking of Don Callis, interesting fact, I saw a young Don... I watched... Actually,
you watched
this is a recommendation for people, because on the WWE YouTube channel, there was a short documentary about the APA I watched. It was about 20 minutes. It was quite interesting.
Acolyte Protection Agency.
Yeah, I mean, it weren't very informative, but it was... If you've never seen the APA, it was quite interesting. And yeah, there was a brief 10 seconds of a very young Don Callis on there from like 1998. Which was quite interesting. So that's another recommendation.
He had a lot more hair back in those days, didn't he? Yeah.
Maybe we'll link that in a doobly-doo as well. The APA documentary, which was quite fun.
So. Well, Dave, I don't know how we've done this, but I think we have surpassed the WrestleMania episode.
I think we've done one of our longest ones. Yeah, but there is a lot of wrestling to talk about.
There is a lot of wrestling to talk about.
And now I've got 2 hours of wrestling to watch, so fuck off.
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. How are we doing today?
Belgian beer.
Belgian lager.
Beer. La 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 la. Belgian beer.
Me.